Out of picture, so we're back at it. This Honda transmission, if you were on my Facebook, you would have saw the video of me showing what was wrong with this transmission. This transmission blew up because there was no oil in it. As you're about to see when I pull the drain plug out, it is no oil at all, really. So due to lack of lubrication, it caused the transmission to seize and unseize, and you're unable to drive the vehicle. I'll get into that. So I took the drain plug out here. It's just a regular 3/8 plug. So I pull that out, and here in the next shot on the pan, that's all the oil that came out. So it's probably less than a quarter of a cup. So here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the intake off, or not the intake, but the air box, these little clips here, pop those off, and this is the whole thing's going to come out here. So once I get this on the ground, then we're going to go have some other things here. There's going to be some harnesses and some connectors that need to come off, like this coolant temp sensor needs to come off, and this hose has come out of this little bracket. That bracket goes down with the transmission, and there's going to be a through bolt for that transmission mount there in the back. So what we're going to do is I'm working on the transmission mount bolt there. It was like a, I think it was a 17, and then you had your two starter bolts for your 14s. You have to get those off, and here I'm taking off all the connectors for like the O2 sensor and all that stuff, and this ground wire that connects to the bracket part here. Alright, so in this shot I'm going after the line for the clutch slave cylinder. So it's a 10 for the line, and then it's a 10 for the two 10s that hold the bracket that go from the flexible line to the hard line. So I'm taking all that off, and they're all 10s. The two bolts that go onto the slave, they're 12s, but we'll get to that later. So this is the two 10s for the bracket. They come out right and easy. Alright, so in this next shot here, I'm taking out bell housing bolts. These are 17s. I can't remember exactly how many there are, but there is like 4 or 5 bolts at the top here, and then there's two 12 or two 14mm bolts that come in from the opposing side on the bottom that you have to take off. So on here, I'm taking this connector off this speed sensor. The speed sensor won't come out; it was stuck. So I just did the connector, and it's not a big hassle for me because it, it goes right back in. So here we're taking the bell housing bolts out again. So now my next step, I'm going to take the axle nuts here. I can't remember the exact size they were. Get those out. Then I'm going to pull this cotter key out for the lower ball joint, and then I'll pop it off. And these are 17s, and this was a 17 also, so I have a 17 and a 17 wrench that pops out. So you have to drive them out with like with a punch and a hammer. And I was able to pop this out, get this axle nice and loose, and then get a pry bar there that pops right out. So then we're going to this on the other side of the fork, and the axle should pop out. See, this one's popping out here with the pry bar just like the other side, and then we have to actually pull them all the way out in order to get the transmission out nice and easy. So this is a drift pin for the shifter. You have to pull that out with a drift pin punch, and then the 12 on this other side that I'm already working on, pull that out, and then all this will be disconnected. So you just keep driving it here. There's a special tool. It goes all the way through without messing up this drift pin. Alright, so here it is drifted out. It's all disconnected, so it's ready to come down. So this is the 212s for the slave cylinder that I'm going to pull off. Pull the slave cylinder completely off the transmission, and then I go after a couple more bell housing bolts. And there's going to be some bolts here from the other side. So this is in the back of the transmission. You have this bolt here just below the side, the rear tranny mount bracket, which there's going to be also two more, which have already been taken out here. Plus there is a through bolt that came from the other side, which is one of the first bolts that I took off. So with that loose, that should allow us to move. So alright, so we're up top. We took these bolts out for the mount. You can see stud, and there's two bolts. Took those out. Got this train support down below. We're going to take this off. Alright, so we got to take this off here. This is supported. I'm going to put something underneath the engine to support the engine just for safety. Then I'm going to get these 14s out of the way, and I'll see if it pops. You can see it's already starting to pop loose, so it should be pretty easy. So here I'm working on getting these 17s out on the side here. There's 3 of them. After I get these, then I also have to get the through bolt for the top of the transmission here. Pull those out. Alright, so now I'm just going over, make sure everything. These are the 2 bolts that are coming from the other side. They're 14s, and you can see the transmission starting to pop a little bit here. So I should be able to get it to pry out here, and then we should be able to get the look on the inside. All right, so she is popped loose. Look in there. It smells terrible. It's been getting super hot. You can see it's all ashy. This is all supported. I didn't show that earlier, but right. So we got some stuff. And ooh, that's pretty cool, man. So then take these off. I think they were like a 12.10 or 12.12, but they were, you know, star. So I took these off, and then I was able to get the clutch off and see at the internals what everything looked like after it gets seized up. I'm not, after this, the video is not going to really go any further past this point, because my camera died. So with it apart, you can see that it got really super hot and it's super glazed. And when I go to the clutch, you can see like you got these spots. And what I think is that the air got trapped in the rivet holes and got super hot, and it caused these spots like polka dots on the flywheel. All right, so here's some more carnage. Check it out. Just down to nothing. And you got your synchro hub here. Everything's in place. But oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's so cool. Wow. Oh my gosh. I had a picture. So that's how you pull the transmission out of that Civic. I stopped right there because my phone died, so I didn't have any more information. So this is just a transmission removal, not a clutch thing. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Please give me a like, give me a subscribe, tell a friend about it, and hopefully this was helpful in some way for you to help get some information. So thanks for watching, really appreciate it, and have a good one.
Fix are good. Be a fixer, be your own people.